Well, howdy folks, my name is Joko, and I am an IELTS instructor who doesn't get to teach classes anymore because he's been promoted to academic court to the registrar's office. I got promoted again yesterday. Oh, anyway, woe is me. We'll see what happens. But I love doing this. Why? Because it gives me a chance to give back. And you guys are so grateful and immediate with your appreciation. And then we get like what happened yesterday, where a couple of people got their results back, and they said thank you to me and Muid and Raphael and Charlie and Michael and Safwan and Shelley and Mr. David Donald Richardson and everyone else who contributes. So I was feeling great, and I went into the waiting feedback, and I found that there was an essay by, there's Shahrazad, yeah, waiting feedback. What's he doing in there? He got his results back. We have a new essay, and there was an essay by Ivanka Prabhukiran. Is it Indonesian? Anyway, I always like to speculate about the nationality, because it's kind of a fun thing to do, but nope. Mr. Prabhukiran was from, I forgot where, but somewhere in India, of course. And I read his, let's get started, shall we? The presentation. Yes. And, sorry to turn up, I didn't mean to turn off your national anthem there, but he was having a problem presenting views. Now, when you look on the task response part of the band score, or the band descriptors, you'll see that it starts with presenting a view. That's the first thing you got to do before you can do anything else. And what he was doing was essentially, you'll see what he was doing, but I felt all inspired to do one of my every few months, more produced, more thought out, for the greater public type of review. And, well, started working on that, and I had this nice little, oh gosh, I need to have some kind of tricky little phrase like what is it, PP, F, or past, present, future, yeah, or gravitas, or, I know, you need to present, explain, expound, which means explain, so it's kind of redundant, but explain at length, or fervently, and support it with consequences or examples. So, P-E-E-S, present, explain, expound, support. P's. We're going to peas all over. We're going to have some peas and carrots here in this essay. Am I right? But just as I was getting started, I noticed I was beginning analyzing the question phase. This is important. I found that, look, there was someone else. Another essay looked like it had been marked on, but there had just been a bunch of comments about why no one's marking it. And so, it's the same question. Well, what do you know? I can do two on the same question and compare how the students approach the question. And they were from the two biggest cricket-loving nations in the world, as well as the two most populous nations on this board. I get more views from Pakistan than I do from India, so thank you. And Mr. What am I doing here? It's crazy. Okay, so we're going to have a competition. And here is, this one. There's Vakras. Respected mentors, please evaluate my essay and score it, maybe. And here is the other candidate, Ahmad Jabbar, who also wants us to Dear mentors and colleagues, please evaluate my task too. So what have I got myself into? Well, it's the nation. We're not going to get into the politics of it, but the relationship between your countries has always interested me. How culturally you can be very similar, and how you write similar essays, and you have the same problems, many of the same problems as English speakers and learners. So, why are you fighting wars? Oh no, Joko is reviewing our essays. I am being concerned. I'm understanding you perfectly, my friend. The other thing that brings you together is cricket. And Poland ball. You know Poland ball? This is a little cartoon. Poland ball. It's very funny for me. They callings me the poor tech support curry again. Back his friend comes over. It's of good day, right, infidel? Not of worryings. Whenever I of havings bad day, I just lookings into this. It always cheers me up. Oh yes? What's that? Oh, such poor, so stupid, oh, pathetic, many poverty, oh. That's so bad. Okay. So. World record 70,000 people singing national anthem of Pakistan. Much longer. I don't want to disrespect it by turning it off. Okay. So. Do UPs all over your essay? First step. Analyze the question, and this is the one that is underestimated by so many candidates. They start writing right away. They don't realize there's some basic things you must do. Okay? It is essential that you identify certain aspects of the question, and asking yourself the basic WH questions is a good way to do it. And here you need to do it with two parties. Okay? Let's look at our question. Okay. Some people think that exams are a good way of assessing a student's level. Others believe that they put unnecessary pressure on young learners and tell us very little about their actual ability. Discuss both sides. It says sides. It should say views. Give your own opinion. It will also say, explain your answers and be sure to explain your answers and provide any examples from your own, relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. Okay? Now, who are we talking about here? Specific people? Well, people in the schools, right? Okay, that's what this is happening. Namely, students. But there's another group of people in here. Young learners. Now, for those of us in the English language training field, we know that that has a specific meaning. Young learners, it's not young like, 20. It means 14 and under, or 16 and under. Children, really. And this is about students. This is about young learners. So the two views, the people viewing them, there's no difference in the people who have the views, but what they're viewing, the object of what they're talking about is different. And when are we reviewing, are these talking about here? Assessing a student's level. At the end of a level? Like a matriculation type exam? At the beginning of a level? And what do they believe? What is the belief? Well, the first one is pretty vague. It says, exams are good. A good way. Well, that's not telling us much. Good way. The other one is a little more detailed. It provides unnecessary pressure. Every word matters. And some pressure is okay. But unnecessary, these people don't like it. And note also, they tell us very little. That's different than nothing. So don't take things to extreme when they're not presented that way. Okay? So, you want to underline these keywords. You should have done it first. Okay? Exams exams are a specific thing. Exams come at the end of a term, or sometimes midterm exams, but the end of a year, really. Good way. Students level. Okay? These are the words we talked about. Have to understand, have to include. When they talk about addressing all parts of the task, they don't just mean the two sides. They mean those parts. These, you can't see if I point to it. These, okay, are parts of the task that you're talking about young learners. Okay? And if it's and exams and levels, if you talk about other things, you're not addressing the task. Okay, now let's get to the introduction. You ready for some cricket? Okay, who's going to hit a home run? And this is a competition. We'll have each paragraph represent a point. And the winner gets this nice cashmere sweater. Okay, so we have our... All right. Okay, who's up to bat first? It's India. Well, what are we going to do? Oh, let's have a listen. I can't read both of them.
Examinations are playing a vital role in assessing an individual's knowledge since long. It is often argued by some that they are a better method for analyzing a learner's level, while others think that they cause unwanted stress to students and provides no significant information about their learned skills. This essay discusses both the views and states my opinion.
All right, well, I guess that's okay for an introduction. What are my problems with it? Well, first of all, we often use the present continuous in a first sentence of an essay because we're talking about things that are happening now. But obviously, you're not talking about something that's happening now because you have the word since in it. Right? What tense do you use when you want to stress that a period of time has passed? Okay, that a significant amount of that's what you're stressing is how much time has passed. Well, for that type of thing, you are going to use the where did it go? Okay, wait a minute. Go back. I missed all of that. All right, now, when we teach grammar, I know everybody learned English in different ways. I teach at a language school where there's certain things that we do better than you would at a public school, for example. At the end of elementary level, say A2, certainly in B1, the pre-intermediate level, when we teach a tense, we teach that there are certain time markers, tells you about the time you're talking about, that go with it. Okay? At, talking about a specific time in the past. Yes, I met past simple him at 8 o'clock. Since is from a time in the past until now, and that is you should know it's perfect tense. Since you want to stress the amount of time, we would say have been playing. Or have been playing, exactly. But you're kind of telling you right what the answer to the question is at the very first sentence. Vital means you're going to agree with the one side. You're telling us right away. Okay, you better stick with it. In assessing an individual's knowledge, well, individuals are those, who are we talking about again? Remember? Students, not individuals. And young people, since long. Long is an adjective. What's it doing there? Long ago? Since long ago. Well, that's not true. When I was a kid, nobody questioned the validity of tests, or at least not where I was hearing it. I don't know, Raphael, you were teaching when I was young? No, I'm just kidding. Probably about the same age as me. It is often argued. Is it now? Where does it say in the question that it's often? Some people think. It doesn't say often. You can't add stuff to the question either. You have to cover everything the question says, but you can't say it says things that it doesn't. Why? Because you're taking away from the time that you need to be spending talking about what? Students and young learners. Okay. Besides, you said it's vital. Okay, now, it is often argued. What do we got here? We got a big grammar mistake. We have the word often. And here's a coherence and cohesion is blue. It is often argued by some. Now, usually, a pronoun wants to look to the noun that's closest to it. They. Who am I? Oh, look, right there, you people. Huh? They say, some people say they are great. Well, usually the subject, it's unclear who they are. Is that the people who are talking or some other previous thing? So this is an unclear pronoun. The referencing is some people believe that they are a better method. Well, I'm pretty good at analyzing a learner's level. I can sit with you and tell you if you are at what level. I do that as part of my job. Yeah. Oh, they meant examinations. Oh, I couldn't tell. That they are a better method for analyzing. We're not analyzing a level. Better means more good, right? Is that what the question says? Why change good into better? Now, at the end here, this essay discusses both views and states my opinion. Well, I'm glad you didn't ramble on, but you got in, stated a different opinion. Yeah. Others think that they, once again, who are they? Unwanted stress to students. Is any stress wanted? About their learnt skills. Nope. Well, yeah. Learnt skills is closer to ability than level. All right. And he hit the ball. Yay. India. All right, let's move on to Pakistan. Comes to the bat. Wow, look at the length of that one. The traditional system. Traditional testing system? Really?
Discuss both sides and give your own opinion. The traditional testing system and its effectiveness in evaluating the test taker's abilities is under debate since long. Some believe that it is an effective measure of determining the educational skills of students. However, others are of the view that it not only exerts undue stress on the young minds but it also fails to highlight their prominent skills. This essay will discuss that although these artificially induced tests may have their shortcomings, they provide teachers and parents an effective method to assess performance.
Okay. Now, at this point, I've got to wonder. Vikaru, what's your name? Ari, did you look at his essay and just rewrite it with fewer words? Because it was like two things under yours. Are you the same person? In the, since long. No one does that. India, what are you doing? You just took his idea. Well, you did point out some things about it that are since long. Vital rule. All right. Traditional testing system. I'm sorry, Ahmad. I'm sorry it took me this long to actually realize what I suspected. That the traditional system and its effectiveness. Traditional. Traditional has a strong meaning, particularly in many parts of the world. The traditional testing system in, say, Pakistan, right, is not examinations, is it? The traditional testing system in the native peoples of the hills of Chin State would be to send the young man out into the hills where he would have to live by himself for 3 days. That's a traditional testing system. Scholastic, if you put the word school in there, it changes everything. And its effectiveness in evaluating the test takers, we need an apostrophe S, it's a possessive, is under debates. Really? Has been under debate since. Once again, both of you use since, and both of you make in the present tense. Somebody's cheating here. Some believe that it is an effective measure of determining the educational skills of students. Educational skills is not what we're talking about. Level is not educational skills. I don't know what educational skills are. It's not a collocation. Study skills of students. Period. Full stop. However, new sentence. Others are of the view that it not only exerts undue stress. Once again, unwanted stress, undue stress. Is there any stress that is wanted? Yeah. Under debate? No, it hasn't been. You're making things more complicated by bringing up other things like artificially induced test fails to highlight. How did Pakistan do? Okay, I don't know if this has a cricket analogy, but I can't believe it's taken me this long to figure it out. Just now as I'm doing this. Maybe they provide teachers and parents an effective method to assess performance of the young ones. Well, at least you're talking about children. That's good. Why did we put discuss here? This essay will discuss that although these, we haven't determined what the tests are. So they can't be these yet. And artificially induced, that is something for women who are very pregnant and need to have their baby right away. They induce pregnancy, induce birth artificially. As far as I know, it is not used in any other way other than that. Well, artificially induced comas, yes. Artificially induced hallucination, yeah. No, can't use that. Teachers and parents. Parents. Are parents giving exams? Effective method to assess performance of the young one. Method to assess. Okay, I suppose. An effective method for assessing performance. We don't need of the young ones. We know that's who we're talking about. We have. You're far too wordy, Ahmad. If anything, this shows you how to write what you wrote, but in fewer words. So even though India is cheating, I gave the point to India. So what we're looking for here is a clear topic sentence, right? And presenting the ideas, not just restating what the question is again and again.
People think that examining system and its effectiveness in evaluating the test takers. Some believe that it is an effective measure of others are of the view that it not only exerts us may have their shortcomings. They provide teachers and parents an effective method to assess performance of the young ones.
The young ones, I love that show. Okay, I ran out of credit on the ttsmp3.com Indian accent speak generator, so sorry. Okay. Question says, they are a good way. And you say, the most effective way. Why make it harder? To know, to find out the people's understanding about a subject. Okay? No, we want to find out their level, much broader thing. And their ability to use the learnt knowledge in their professions. Where does it say that? Okay? It doesn't say that. You can't change the question. You've presented an idea, and instead of discussing it, you want to change it. And so to do that, you immediately go into your example. Take, comma. For instance, comma. The PLAB exam is conducted. Okay, no. Take is the verb in that sentence. It's a command. The subject is you. Yeah? Take, for instance, the PLAB exam. Period. Stop. It is conducted for foreign where? Foreign medical graduates to check whether they are qualified to enter the UK medical education and health system. They can't go to the hospital, even though They are already doctors practicing medicine in their home country. Just one country? Countries. This is all one sentence. Take. There is no period in here. It just goes on and on until we get to here. To check their ability to work in the new environment. I thought they were studying. Students. We're talking about students, remember? Not CLAB. You might be thinking about CLAB, but this isn't about you. Okay, we up here, it is conducted to check whether they are qualified. To check their ability to work in the new environment. It's the same idea. Hence, they believe it's mandatory to check their competencies. You're saying the same thing again and again, using the same words. Why? And they won't face any difficulties? None? Be careful with that word any. It means not any. Everything is perfect. I passed my PLAB. Okay, India, you whiffed on that one. And you even had someone else's essay to steal from. Whoosh. Okay. Let's see how Pakistan does. There's India over in the corner. Ooh. Firstly. I've been told you shouldn't use firstly at all. But I think it's okay if you have set it up that you're going to be presenting a sequence of things. It's like if you had finished your body paragraph, your introduction with, there are several arguments as to why why examinations are not valid measures of competency. You set it up. There are several. Firstly, but just by itself like that, nah. It is argued. Good use of passive voice. Examination system does not encompasses. Once again, subject-verb agreement. I can't remember if it was India or Pakistan that did it the first time. It's not encompasses the real-world challenges. Well, we're not talking about the real-world challenges now, are we? We're talking about students. Okay? Pupils. Those are pupils. Pupils are teacher-specific. They are not substitutes for students. And hence, test pupils merely on predefined skill set. On a predefined skill set. Like the ability to write an essay in English. That's a predefined skill set, now isn't it? The IELTS. Merely, yes, because this is important. All right. But moreover, now in the use of you have presented an idea, okay, this predefined skill set, and you don't explain it at all. Present, explain, expound, and support. It puts, once again, subject-verb agreement, learners under immense pressure, and eventually they are often unable to truly express themselves under such conditions. It's incorrect use of the word express. That's for, sharing your feelings. Although it may allow examiners to rank pupils, there's a pupil, on the basis of, it may not ensure bringing the best traits out of the test takers. Who cares if it brings out the best traits? We're trying to assess them. The argument is strengthened by the examples of the number of college dropouts in the last 20 years or so. Don't use or so, it's very informal. Who turned out to be successful business entrepreneurs later on in their lives. Okay, it's like Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos woke up one day and went, hey, oh my God, look at me. I'm a successful business entrepreneur. Now we want to use the word become. And what does it have to do with testing? Really? Okay. Did Bill Gates drop out of Harvard because he was facing a test and he had anxiety? That's what the question is stating. Did Jeff Bezos decide to run Amazon because of undue pressure from a test? No, these examples are not examples of what we're talking about. However, hence, It can be seen. I bet you use that phrase in task 1, don't you? Don't think that anything you say in task 1 and task 2 are interchangeable. It can be seen that ubiquitous testing methods, ubiquitous. All right. You know what it means? It means everywhere. Have their limitations in highlighting the unique strengths of students. Yeah. No one's expecting them to. Become. And yeah, it's a big, long run-on sentence here. Oh no. What's happening here? Okay. You know what? Neither one of you get a point for that. We're giving that point to Bangladesh. All right, so we're moving on now. Who's up? I think Pakistan is up first. And he's going to go on to say that it's good for assessing, because he talked about how it's not good. How about the other view? On the other hand, these tests provide different stakeholders.
On the other hand, I agree with the others who think that exams cause undue stress on.
These tests provide different stakeholders an opportunity to measure the teachers. Oh, really? That's definitely not in the question. As well as students' performances. Okay. It's an interesting topic sentence. I wonder how you're going to develop that. And that word stakeholders, it's a business English word. It is not. We shouldn't use business English in our IELTS test. At least not, there's some overlap, but stakeholders, leave the BE at the door. What? Is this the topic sentence? Are we going to talk about teachers? No, not at all. We're going to move on to further. That's not a connector. Furthermore, you haven't discussed the first thing yet. What happened to P? Present, explain, expound, support. Further, with recent developments in technology, varied testing methods and techniques are being introduced to ensure that pupils can be gauged on different criterias such as critical thinking and not only theoretical knowledge. That is one long sentence, and nothing has anything to do with examinations, which is what we're talking about. This stuff here, this high technology assessment, is the opposite of examinations, and it's not what we're talking about. To exemplify, okay? You can't, if something exemplifies something, it is that itself. I can't go out and exemplify something that I am not. So it is not it is a clear, entirely, what's the word? Self-transitive, reflexive verb. Yeah? Okay, so like, for example, you wash yourself. You bathe yourself. We bathe other things. But exemplify, you cannot at all exemplify something other than yourself. You are the example. So your use of exemplify here is incorrect. This can be exemplified. You can't use exemplify in the passive. By the introduction of e-learning testing systems by the number of schools in Pakistan. Not examinations. It's not examinations. And you tell us where you are. Why does everyone from Pakistan have to tell everybody that they're from Pakistan in their essays? Under which students are given an opportunity. Given an opportunity, are they optional? Can I pick cosmetology because I would love to be a makeup artist? Okay, the results then guides parents and students in making it, AI? Therefore, this is like, I know what happens, and many students do this. They're not sure what to write. So they start to wander over into topics they know more about, like technology. You can't do that. And what happened to teachers? Yeah, the first sentence, topic sentence. Teachers, that was never mentioned once. Look at your topic sentences, people. Okay. Back to India.
Environment. On the other hand, I agree with the others who think that exams cause undue stress on the young brains unnecessarily. They might cause the examinees to worry about their test results, leading to their suboptimal performance on the test day. For example, many graduates fail the above-mentioned lab exam many times not because they are not well-qualified doctors but because of the stress associated with that exam, according to a study done by the General Medical Council in the UK. It can be inferred, therefore, these exams are not able to draw definite conclusions regarding the student's overall proficiency, as test takers' performance is influenced by those stressful conditions.
That's right, because being a doctor never is, you'll run into any stressful conditions that might require you to perform under stress. No, that never happens. Okay, anyway, who are these others? With the others, no. And instead of saying, I agree, say, on the other hand, these, just state it. These exams, I think these exams cause undue stress on the young brains. Now, the young brains, young learners, are not doctors. They might cause the examinees to worry about their testing. Suboptimal performance on testing. Suboptimal means just not perfect. Are we ever perfect, really? And do not use the same example twice in different paragraphs. Come back to the PLAB. All right, so I know you're thinking about the PLAB because you're here, but according to a study done by the General Medical Council in the UK, don't just throw that in there. If you want to be completely made up about it, just say studies show. Now here's one. Okay, one criticism of these tests is that they test, even IELTS, they test a person's ability to take tests, right? They test them as test takers. So when I read regarding the student's overall proficiency as test takers, as test takers' performance, see, that's where that little apostrophe is so important. As test takers' performance is influenced by those stressful conditions. That is a perfect example of how bad punctuation causes confusion, right? And we're talking about young learners. Right? Don't do this with studies. Okay, it's not like in Monopoly they had get out of jail. What an example! Get out of the paragraph. Why the semicolons? Why? It is not if you put a semicolon, that does not count as a complex sentence. I'm not even going to cover when you would use a semicolon. Just don't do it. And they definitely draw conclusions, and this is an example of them causing. All right, so now, a good conclusion will tie together the positions made by restating them in new ways. A small prediction about the future is okay, but nothing new. Here they are, side by side. And at this point, now I realize, okay, here I am in the present, and Vanaku absolutely denies doing any type of copying of... Yeah, Ahmad, look at you. 386 words? You had a sentence that was 47 words long? All right? Students testing 7 times, 6 times, under, may 5 times. Far too wordy. Okay, definition of a pupil is a child or young person in school or in the charge of a tutor or instructor. Okay, in school, in charge of a tutor or instructor, young person. Okay, this is, of course, band descriptors. The explanation and support are irrelevant. Absolutely, that's you to a T. You're going on and on about things that are not young learners and Bill Gates. Okay, they're not to the topic. You don't answer the question. And these are my additions. You do use paragraphing. Oh, these are my definitions. Oh yes, this is the Joko version of the band descriptors, which I rewrote to make them more accessible. Referencing problems, I should say so. Poor use of paragraphing. Ideas are very difficult to follow. No use of referencing. I'd say I'm probably more of a 6 in task response. Yeah, okay, how much did I miss? Anyway, 5. Yeah, 6, 5, 5. Oh, so I think that we've all learned something about the sort of cookie cutter nature of IELTS writing today, at least from the online community. That two people in two countries, hundreds of miles away, never met each other, could write almost the same essay poorly, with the same mistakes in terms of over using the wrong kinds of connectors, and well, they had different mistakes too, but the similarity, how I would just take everything. If I was in your position, I would take everything I'd learned and just throw it out the window, because that's what everyone's doing. And yeah, I mean, oh, strange. It's like I've been to like two people making the same dish, and it tastes exactly the same, and they've never been in the same kitchen together. That's how sort of homogenized and standardized this world of IELTS tutoring has become. So I guess I owe Bikram a band score. I shouldn't. Okay, so to review. Okay, so if we look at task response, and again, these are my band descriptors, not the official ones, but the ideas aren't explained. You misunderstand the question, obviously, by talking about stuff that's doctors, and a lot of details that are not about the specific topic. Okay, and yeah, so that puts you at a 5 there for task response. Referencing problems, paragraphing is okay. You don't have this problem. You might be a 6. Repetition, check, 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 check. Yeah, could be 6 there. But you didn't even ask for a band score. The other guy did. So I'm just going to leave it there. India wins on the assumption that it's his essay. So Bangladesh is the winner! Yeah! For not playing. I hope you had fun. Come again soon. Thank you very much. And I go back to work now.